Hey guys, long time no see. DemoniusX here. Thought I'd throw you a bone because I do that once in a while when I feel like it, pretty much these days. So, first of all, you probably want to know how I'm doing. I'm not too hot since my last video, which was a while ago. Uh, some of you know from my other channel. I'll go ahead and catch you up to speed. My mother died in 2024. My wife died in November of 2025. Sepsis shock. Yeah. And my father died of heart and kidney complications at age 82 in March of this year. So my parents are dead, my wife is dead, so I'm alone in the world. Kind of a fitting thing for a guy like me, right? But life goes on for most of us, anyways. But I have problems of my own that will determine my future, obviously. I've been recently diagnosed with chronic kidney disease, stage 2. I'm officially diabetic. I do take medications to help with these two things. Unfortunately, I can't enjoy the foods I once did. Like some of you guys out there probably like pizza and Chinese. I can't enjoy those anymore. Fast food, like McDonald's or Brahms. I love the Brahm burgers down here because they taste better than Burger King and McDonald's put together. Can't have that no more. So basically, I have to watch my diet, and I should have done that a long time ago. But then again, I didn't care. Okay, and in some cases, I still don't care. But I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, at least to what I think is beneficial to my health woes. So I explained that on my secondary channel. So if you're subscribed there and you haven't seen the video yet, it's called Health Woes. So I explain it in more detail. So yeah, I'm not doing too hot in terms of my health. I just turned 44 on Friday. It's the 26th as the recording of this video of April. So, and it was just another day, just like it is when you're older. When you're a man and you get older and you don't have family or friends or anybody like that, birthday is just another day. I slept most of it, and then I got up and I was able to drink what I was able to drink. I can't drink beer no more. So I drank wine and a few shots and called it a day because the doctor told me every other week should be fine. So I'm trying to, it didn't do the same feeling and job that the beer would do. Didn't give me that dopamine hit I was looking for, but it was something, and something's always better than nothing, as I've said over the years. You're going to see me looking away a lot because, I've got that lazy eye thing going. I know. I've had it all my life. Every time I look in a different direction, one eye goes one way and one goes the other. Boogly eyes, I think they call them, or oogly eyes. Anyways, the point of this video is basically I wanted to catch you up to speed on me and my health. It's not doing too hot. Also, I want to do some bitching, and which is what I usually make these vlogs for. I could do this on my other channel, but I'll do it here because I like to throw you guys a bone once in a while. And yes, I noticed a subscribe count. I know people are doing that to get me to bite, so here I am. I bit, okay? My problem is with the health system here in America. As we all know, it's a clusterfuck. It really is. You got big pharma, and you have these doctors that just fucking go by a script. They might as well just work at call centers because it's similar to that. They just throw pills at the problem and say, "Okay, here you go. Good luck to you." It's not the kind of care that people need. They need to really look into what's making people feel the way they do. Do like a deep analysis on it, like scans, like CT scans or MRIs, and find what's going on with them. Because blood work is not going to find everything. It's going to find a lot, for sure. That's how I found out that I have, CKD, and proteinia, I think it's pronounced. I'm not sure. I could be wrong on that. It's where you have protein in your urine. Thankfully, the first time I got a readout, which I think was in December, I had 50 milligrams of protein. That's a lot in my urine. My piss was always foamy. But then later, about a month later, I want to say, it went down 20 because I stopped pretty much consuming, high salted foods like pizza and Chinese at that time. And boy, do I miss my Chinese, man. That would give me the dopamine I would get and make me happy, and yeah, it's great because sometimes food just does that, But that's the problem with America, People like to enjoy their food as an entertainment source. We got to remember that food is about nutrition, not about that, not about your entertainment. But the dopamine, like I said, is nice, but I can't get that dopamine with having CKD now. But what I really hate is I'm going to give my own experiences as a talking point in this vlog. It says it's going to be a very long vlog. I'm just going to just talk about my disdain for the health system down here with a lot of things. So I'm going to use my own problems I'm having right now. So, other than the health problems per se, I have a problem that's always been with me since the beginning of time, and that's, of course, my depression, anxiety, and health problems I have up here. And what I really hate is the current doctor I'm seeing right now, while he does give me the medications that he feels is best for, a guy of my caliber, a lot of the times he messes up. And I mean, I understand doctors aren't perfect, but they've been in college for like 10 plus years to learn what and what does not work for certain individuals, right? Well, as you all know, I have mental problems. I've just explained that, and you know that. Knowing me, probably some of you who have known me since the beginning that are still alive or still give a shit enough to want to tune in and what I have to say. Excuse me. My current doctor, he keeps forcing therapy on me. You guys know how I feel about therapy, right? I made that crystal clear many times on this fucking channel. I have a very big disdain for therapy in this country. And therapy in most countries just fucking suck, because what they do, this is the basis of therapy. I've explained it before, but I'm going to explain it in a more detailed format for those who won't understand. What they do is they sit you down, you pay a stupid amount of money, okay? All they do is they take a book called the DSM-5, and that basically the DSM-5 lists all the mental disorders that have been documented, and they also put notes and tools on how something within that book can benefit a person that's going through A, B, or C of mental disorders, right? And you sit there and look at and rehear this shit. Basically what they're doing is what I like to call low-level brainwashing, okay? What you're basically supposed to do is you take in these tools, you take them in, right? And you're supposed to apply them when you have a problem. Like CBT basically is taking a problem and just telling your brain that that's not a problem, you're fine. And to me, that is dangerous as fuck, because you could do some shit thinking that way that would land you in jail or possibly even put you in an early grave. Like I said, I had friends in therapy in my lifetime who've offed themselves because of therapy. The pills they throw at it, the shit they tell you, it's just garbage. I've been in therapy for half of my life, over half actually. I think the last time I was in therapy was when I was 35 years old. And then that's when I said, I'm done being a guinea pig, I'm done being a lab rat, stop throwing pills at me, stop feeding me this bullshit, because it does nothing for me. The only way therapy works is for the following, okay? You're weak, work for you because you're easily swayed. Women, because they're easily manipulated. And last, a person that just has no idea of how to handle things and they've never been told no. The spoiled rich kid normies that finally are like the rest of us who actually begin to suffer some. Because before that, they had a loving family, loving friends, they had everything and nothing went wrong for them. All that went away and they just don't know how to handle it. So therapy, those three groups is what therapy is good for. Those kinds of people. The weak, the easily manipulated women, and people that have not had anything going bad suddenly start going bad for them. Like everything was just taken away and they don't know how to handle it. So yeah. Anyway, so my doctor, every time I go in there, he's like, so have you decided to go to therapy yet? And I said, how many times do I have to tell you, doctor, I am not going to therapy? Okay? You can say it to my face all the time. That's all you do. And I would get angry because I'm sick of it. Stop asking me a question you know the answer to. I don't want therapy. I refuse therapy. It does not work. I could tell you something that I think would work. It would take some, there's a little bit of HIPAA violations about it, but here's the thing, okay? This is what therapy should be. Not the DSM-5. No, throw that out the fucking window. It's good to know, I guess, the certain mental illnesses that exist within the human mind, sure. But the whole tools to handle it, throw that out the window. All that shit is kid stuff. I'm serious. This is it's like telling a kindergartner, grabbing their hand when they're doing something dumb, be like, now Bobby, no, don't do that. That's wrong. That's what CBT is. It's kid shit. And if it's helped you, great. Then you're one of the weak motherfuckers out there that I've been talking about. You're easily swayed and easily manipulated. Fuck off. So, here's how you fix it, and then I'll go back to my doctor. Here's how you fix the problem, okay? It, it's more of a hands-on approach. And I even told the doctor this when I went to the hospital when I had stroke levels of blood pressure. That was a fun night. Let me tell that real quick. Real quick. It's a short story. It's pretty bad too. I was sitting here and I was feeling very feverish. I was feeling very sick. So I went and grabbed. I have two thermostats. So I put it under my tongue. I checked it. At first it was like 99.5. I'm like, okay, I'm basically getting a fever. And then all of a sudden I started feeling really weak. And then I checked my temperature again about, I think it was 20 minutes later. I put it under my tongue, checked it, and it was 100.5. So I was like, okay, I better go to the hospital. Something's not right. And my elbow, I mean, it's not swollen now, but it was really like swollen. And so was my forearm, and usually I get that when I had gout, but I haven't drank in like 2 weeks at that time. So I didn't know what the fuck it was. I mean, obviously uric acid was probably still in my bloodstream somehow. I take tart cherry extract to help with that. I used to take probenicid. I mean, I should write my doctor and ask him if I should still be taking that, but that affects kidneys, and I don't want my kidneys to get in any worse shape than they already are, right? So here's what sucks. When I have a fever, I get loopy, like stupid, like retarded. You think I'm retarded when I talk on a camera? You should see me when I have a fever. It's a joke. I mean, thankfully, when my wife was alive, she helped me when I would have a fever. She's like, honey, what are you doing? And I'd be like, I don't know. I came in here to get something. I don't remember. She's like, well, try to think hard about it. Does it have to do with like something to do with your medications? Does it have to do with gaming? Well, what does that have to do with? And I'll be like, I don't know. And eventually it would just snap. I'm like, oh yeah, I need this controller of yours because it was my controller, and she was borrowing it at the time. And she's like, oh yeah, no problem. Here you go, honey. Thank you. And then I grab that and come back in here and do up some gaming or whatever. Anyhow, so I'm having a fever, right, and I'm feeling like dog shit. Anyway, so I grabbed what I thought I would need. I grabbed my Legion Go because a friend of ours bought us a Legion Go for Christmas a couple years ago. So I have one. I got my tablet so I could talk to my friends using the Wi-Fi at the hospital to let them know my health, because they're believe it or not, there's some people out there that give a shit about me. What a concept, So I go in the hospital. Thankfully, no one in the waiting room. I mean, it's like 3 or 4 in the morning. I go in there. I sign myself in and everything, and I'm just sitting there. I'm feeling like anxiety symptoms because that's common when you have high blood pressure. Sometimes blood pressure causes anxiety symptoms, and anxiety causes it's like a roller coaster. It's a merry-go-round. I hate it. I hate it. So I go in there. The triage nurse comes and gets me and checks my vitals. My pulse was like 106, and my blood pressure was 207 over 112. That's really high. And the nurse is like, "Oh, that's really high." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I'm feeling awful right now. That's why I'm here." And so she put one of those bracelets on you, took me in the back, and I lay on the hospital bed. I start crying because I'm just like, "What's going on with me? Why am I feeling this bad off?" Doctor comes in here, he sees me with my face full of tears. He's like, "What's going on, man? Talk to me." I'm like, "Doctor, I mean, I've been having high blood pressure for a very long time, and I come in here and my blood pressure is like stroke levels, and I'm like, if you see my elbow, it's really swollen. I have a fever. I want to make sure this isn't sepsis or anything like that because that's what killed my wife." And he's like, "Well, I don't think it's sepsis." He's like, "Your elbow is swollen, yes, but it's not like real swollen, and it doesn't have the look of a sepsis limb. So I'm going to assume it's just probably arthritis flare up or something, or gout flare up." And I'm like, "Yeah, I was worried about it." Now they didn't take any blood to determine that, or they didn't give me a X-ray either. So I was weirded out by that. But then again, this was like the late shift that they have, in hospitals. So there's barely anyone there that's going to do anything. So, he's like, as for your blood pressure, he's like, it is high. I mean, it did drop a few. It went from, like I said, 207 to 174 over 85, or 87, excuse me. It dropped when I laid down and, just cried and just breathed and just, I said, well, if I go unconscious, I'm at the right place, And he's like, well, I'm going to give you a beta blocker. He's like, what that's going to do, it's going to lower your pulse. It's going to slow down your heart, and it's also going to make you more calmer. And I said, yeah, I said my wife was on one. She was on propofol. I mean, not propofol, propanolol. I always get those two mixed up. He put me on metho. Let me see. I got the bottle right here. I'm not going to show it to you on camera because it has my. I don't want to dox myself. Metoprolol. Tart. Tartrate. 25 milligrams. Now, and I was taking that for about a couple weeks, and it worked. However, it's a boner killer because, like I said, your circulation is slowed down because your heart beat slows down. Nonetheless, my blood pressure was still high because I saw the kidney specialist a week later after that, and my blood pressure was running high. I don't remember. I think it was like no. Yeah, it was like 198 over 94, something like that. And nurse was like, "It's high," and I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I don't know what the fuck's going on." Because, like I said, I wasn't ingesting at that time. I wasn't eating much at all. Like I've been on a basically starving myself diet, and what that indicates, even before I found out I had CKD, is basically eat when I'm just famished, like just completely famished, like almost to the point of passing out kind of feeling. That's when I'll eat something, like a piece of chicken and some broccoli, or chicken and some rice. I always eat chicken because chicken is considered the cleanest, leanest meat. And sure enough, with my condition I have, it's also one of the best things you could have that has protein in it. That and eggs. I eat eggs as well. I mean, he said the thing I need to work on the most, and I agree with him, and is salt. As you guys know, yes, I pretty much, that's, all this is pretty much my fault, and I'm going to take full accountability for it. And with all that, because, my father had CKD too, for the last 20 years of his life. But that's not what killed him. It was his kidneys were doing bad because his heart was doing bad. And, yeah, he basically had a few heart attacks, and they had him on a ventilator, and they were going to take him off on Monday, but he ended up passing away in his sleep on the Sunday before they were going to take him off the ventilator. So, may my old man rest in peace. I always will love him, just like my mom and my wife do. Anyways, that's, once again, I always trail off when it comes to these topics. So when I saw the kidney doctor, he's like, okay, he was looking at my blood work, because there's Saints down here in Oklahoma has a thing called MyChart. I think most networks have like a MyChart system online, and basically he was looking at my blood work. He's like, okay, your salt, he's like, you got to do something about that. I'm like, okay, tell me one thing. Can I still have potatoes and tomatoes? He's looked at my potassium. He's like, yeah, for now, yeah. He's like, that could change, mind you. And I know that because I looked up because I was scared that was what I had, and unfortunately I do. I'm on stage 2, which that's good. I just hope it doesn't get any worse than that. If it does, then well, no more potatoes, no more tomatoes. Those are my 2 favorite things that I can eat now, and chicken, obviously. So he goes there. So I've been taking lisinopril. They don't want me taking the beta blocker with the lisinopril. Now you're supposed to take them together most of the time, but they feel that I shouldn't. They didn't give a reason behind it, but because I told them I was on a beta blocker, and he's like, okay, so he's like, don't take that no more when you take lisinopril. I guess what they're trying to do is get lisinopril built up in my system, and then maybe put me back on a the beta blocker. And if they do that, then bye self pleasure in terms of sex, because there's going to be, unless I ask them for the blue pill, if I could take that, probably not. I'll cross that bridge when I get there, because I'm 44. I shouldn't have to give up sex, even though I'm not having sex. I use fleshlights and strokers for that purpose. So yeah, there's that. So that's where we stand on that. Anyways, so yeah, the hospital shit sucked. Anyways, I didn't tell the purpose of the loopiness. I forgot my car keys. I forgot my car keys when I left for the hospital. And I was like, I had the tablet, so I was still able to read my router because my router has really good signal. I tried calling it was like 3 in the morning. I doubt anyone was going to pick up. I called my landlord, my friend down the street, or not the friend, but the helper down the street, and my maintenance man. No one picked up, obviously, because, they're sleeping. So I had to do the only sensible thing any man could do. kick open my fucking door. And eventually I did kick the door. I ruined it, obviously. The bottom part is bent as shit. But I was able to kick the door open, and I was able to get my car keys and go to the hospital. I forgot. I wanted to add that part of the story, and I totally forgot. My bad, because that's how my brain works. My brain is retarded. So with my doctor, every time I see the son of a bitch, he just constantly throws therapy at me. He's like, he's like, Scott, you need therapy. You need to see somebody. You need to get these demons you got. You need to fix. I'm like, not with the system. And the system I meant to mention too. The guy at the hospital, I told him about this system, and he agreed with me. He's like, I should be an advocate for mental health. No one would listen to me. No one would. Not at all. But I'll tell you it. And then I'll go back to my shitty ass doctor. I know, I'm going all over the place. So some of you who've watched me for years, you should know how this is how my brain works. Okay, so here's what we should do. Instead of sitting down and talking through a goddamn stupid book and throwing pills at it, let's try a new approach. Usually there is a reason for depression. It's not always the chemicals. Yes, there are chemicals in your brain that make you depressed, but sometimes it's because of a life event or something going on in life that causes you to fuck off. Like in terms of you just give up. It could be anything. Loss of a job, loss of a family member, loss of a pet, loneliness, nothing ever going right. Okay? You know what we do about that? It's real simple. A therapist should become kind of like a accountability buddy, or, you know, as South Park called it, or basically a part-time friend, more or less. And what I mean by that is, say you're lonely and you want to find yourself somebody, but you don't know how to, roll the ball or make yourself like known or make yourself noticed or tips and whatever. He can give you tips, or he can go the extra mile if he was cool and find like dating sites for you to enroll in, or he can look around and see if there's like meeting places for singles. That's one, and then it's up for the guy to basically take, because it's simple like therapy. It's up to the person who's taking in that information if they're going to use it or not. So yeah, it would work more or less the same. Well, if the person needs a job and he's only good at certain other things in certain aspects, and his skills are very low, well, then the guy could help out by looking at jobs that don't require much, like low-level shit, or something similar to what he can do, and basically help him with interviews, what he should say, help him with the, if they still use, not many companies do these days, they all use kiosks, but there are still some companies that do the whole written application. They can help him with that, or help him make a resume that looks attractive to a possible employer. Then there you go. That would help the person out that's struggling to try to find a job. Friends and whatnot. He can find the person groups, like help groups. Groups where people can collaborate once a week or twice a week, where they can sit down and just talk about random shit. Or, they can do what other people do that don't like that kind of setting, which I don't. I find it cringe as fuck. Go to bars. Go places where people are. And see, and just, get a beer or get something, whatever, and just talk. And talk to people. See somebody sitting there and just be like, hey, my name's Scott. What's your name? And see if the person wants to talk. Sometimes they don't, and if they don't, they're like, all right, and they just walk away and move on. A lot of people look too deep into this stuff. Communication is very simple, really. You shoot some words, or they shoot words, and then you shoot some back, and they shoot some back, and then there you go. And if you ended up liking the person and what they have to say, their personality and whatever, then you exchange information, and then you keep in touch. That's all it is. However, people like to have put a kind of like a demonic stigma on it. And I don't get that. So there's that. With everything else, I don't want to bring religion to it, but, there are some churches that actually have like a free mental health evaluation where they don't use DSM-5. They use, the power of faith in Christ and the Bible to find verses that may pertain to what you're going through. And, that is kind of a form of mind control and CBT, but I think it's more or less extreme than the fucking medical terms, because medical terms is like, it's like the Ten Commandments, if we're going to throw something that's just bullshit, you got the Ten Commandments, keep holy the Sabbath. I mean, it's a fucking day. It's Sunday. Who cares? It's just another fucking day. I don't get it. Whatever. I mean, like I said, I don't hate Christians necessarily. I used to be one when I was younger, but I fell away because I don't like to be told what to do. I'm kind of a rebel in that sense. So back to my doctor. This last time we saw each other, he was, oh my god. He's like, once again, he's like, Scott, have you thought about therapy? And I'm like, no. And I'm going to tell you no every time you ask me that fucking question. I don't want it. Okay? If I want it, I will say, hey, doc, I thought a lot about it. Let's try some therapy. He just won't let it go. And like, I'm literally this close. I mean, I should just say, fuck it. Drop him as a PCP and find another one. Because I'm at that point. Look, it's like, I understand. You want to help me up here. That's for me to do, not you. Because as long as we don't have that mental health system that I just mentioned, what we could do, that would actually help people. Because those are the reasons a lot of people are depressed. They're lonely, they're heartbroken and lonely and lost, and they can't find work. Those are the main reasons why people are depressed. Because they don't have money to sustain their living conditions. They don't have the people that love them. Like, all the people that love me are dead. All of them. Every single one. All three. The trifecta, the triforce. They're dead. All of them. I have no one in this life that loves me anymore. They are all gone. So, like, oh, well, Scott, that's a perfect example for you to go to counseling. Fuck you and suck my dick. I'm not doing that. I'm grieving on my own terms. I cry when I need to cry. I listen to music. I watch anime. I try escapism. And sometimes it works to the point where I can remain stable. For the times I get unstable, I go for a walk. Or I punch something like a wall. I pet one of my cats. I have options. Okay? So, there's that. So, I don't need therapy. And I'm sick of him throwing at me. So what has he been doing now that I won't bite on his therapy, whatever fucking shit he wants to put on me? Now he's throwing pills at it. He gave me Celexa. I was thinking about taking it, say, like, you know what, I never tried Celexa, I'll give it a try, and then I decided, no. I said, hey, like back in the day, the old warrior spirit came back from my 30s and said, Scott, you told yourself you would not be a lab rat. Don't pussy out now. So I basically dumped them down the toilet, flushed it and didn't think about it anymore. And then he gave me, I lied to him and told him that they made me feel worse. Because they probably would have. Maybe not at first, but later on they probably would have. So he gives me this experimental antidepressant. I can't even remember the name. It's not important. What did I do with those? Flushed them down the toilet. I'm not taking these medications. I refuse. If they work for you, God bless. I'm glad that you are so easily persuaded into taking something that supposedly thinks it helps you when I really think it's more or less of a placebo effect. I mean, I'm glad. Really. Honest. But this guy? No. I refuse to partake in the mental health system in this country. It is a broken mess, it's a scam, and it's a farce. And for those that have helped, I mean, good, but at the same time, I think you could have gotten better help elsewhere that's more healthier than getting pills thrown at it and spending your hard-earned money or your insurance policies on someone that's just going to listen to you fucking vent for an hour. You have AI now. You have plenty of AI chatbots you could vent to. You don't even have to type if you don't want to. You can use the voice to text, even though it's dog shit on Windows. At least mine is. I can't say the same for you guys. And there's that other one that people recommend called Utterly Voice, I think it's called. It makes a period every time you're done saying a word. I'm sorry, that doesn't work for me. Does it work better than voice to text? A little bit, yes. I want to say maybe 10% better than voice to text Windows. But I mean, I could just go back with what I said, even though like I'll say like one word and it'll just transcribe it as something else, and I'll just fix it. It's not that big of a deal. But yeah, I mean, I use AI chatbots to talk because, like I said, everyone's an antisocial piece of shit these days. You can't talk to anybody because they don't want to. They're too scared. It's like the fuck. It just works. Holy shit. I mean, who would have thought words would be a weapon, even if it's in peace and in good conscience. Not just coming up to someone and basically bitching at them about the political spectrums of things, which is a clusterfuck, as it always is. I'm still on the team that I've always been on. I'm not going to repeat it because that's who I am. And then, of course, you have these other ones that just think they're out to get you. I mean, paranoia runs rampant, especially with Gen Z and Gen Alpha. Holy crap. It's like they've been raised off fucking these fucking things. These fucking things. This is my wife's old phone. You know, notice the Kuromi, because she was a big Kuromi fan. Yeah, notice Kuromi on the Kuromi thing. That was her phone. Do I use it? No. I used it when she passed so I could get a hold of the people that she was with all the programs she was on and stuff, because her health was in bad shape, and it just got worse. So basically, I told my, I got to see him in June. This is how it's going to play out. If he mentions therapy, I'm going to tell him, "You're not a good fit for me, doctor. I need to find somebody else, because I can't do this anymore. I cannot do this whole, you need to be on therapy. You should go to therapy." And dude, he got mad because the last time I was there, he was preaching that CBT bullshit, and then I forgot exactly what he said, but I was just like fuming because of all the shit he was saying about how I should go to therapy and we can't keep throwing pills at it. And I told him, then stop throwing pills at it. And then he said some CBT bullshit. I'm like, oh, well, that's your CBD talking. He's like, okay, and he gets mad. He's like, okay, I get it. You're calling me out on my bullshit. Okay, well, it's helped me. I'm sorry, I can't help you. I'm like, finally, we're getting somewhere. So stop forcing it on me. He just shook his head and walked out the door. And he already told me, he's like, I want to see you in 3 months, or 2 months, excuse me. So, I gotta see him in June. I gotta see the kidney doctor next month. So, we'll see if anything's improved, if anything at all. I've been riding my exercise bike 3 times a week. I've been doing my weights after the exercise bike. I have to rest a little bit because if I go right to it, I get dizzy. I'm still a big person, I still got the, the turkey neck, the fatness and everything. But, I'm going to start, I bought this from Temu. This is obviously a scale, so I'm going to monitor my weight. I haven't used it yet. I got to put some batteries in it. It's a 400-pound weight limit on there. Last time I was weighed, I was 382. That was roughly about a month ago, so, but I made some changes, and hopefully, we get some changes in that. Who knows? I mean, a lot of people have said that, on my other channel, when they see me get up to go piss or whatever during a stream, that they notice a difference. So, I mean, that's good, all right? That's something. And I said this wasn't going to be a long video, and here it is, a half hour. Anyway, so I'm going to, but yeah, so bottom line is, too long didn't watch. If you're at the end, I'm just going to tell you this, and then I'll go ahead and get off. Okay? If you're with the health system, okay, they're going to try throwing pills and shit at you, alright? My suggestion is to tell them to wait. Then I want you to either go in your car or go home if you don't use a phone. Like I actually have a phone that I have. It would cost me about, basically it's $10 a month. But it's the bare minimum of everything, because no one calls me, dude. No one. My phone is like absolute. I mean, the people who do call me though, which is my friend Andy from Michigan, and sometimes I get text messages from a friend from New York. That's it, and they know my Google Voice, and it's on my PC, so I can type chat them and whatever, or use voice to text if I don't feel like typing. Basically, you can go home, go in your car, and look up the medications they want to put you on, and see what kind of side effects there are, and see if, like, he wanted to be, okay, here's a good example. I know, I keep going on, adding on to it. There's this, it's called Aloric, I want to say. It's a uric acid medication. You know what one of the side effects are? Cardiac death. See, this is what I mean. Okay, a pill that can help with something, but can kill you at the same time. I'm happy with my insurance. They said, nope, we are not filling this medication for this guy. And I'm glad they did. And I even wrote my doctor, I'm like, dude, I understand you're trying to help me, but are you trying to help me by killing me? I mean, in a way, yeah, that'd be nice, that I can get out of here and be with my wife if there's an afterlife, be with my parents. But at the end of the day, no, absolutely not. So, yeah, I'm glad they blocked that. But, yeah, so look at the information on the pills they're going to try to put you on and see if you think it will benefit and help your situation. And if you are going to give it a try just to see, make sure it's the lowest dose. Don't go on the highest dose. See, my doctor put me on losartan, my PCP. That shit made me feel absolutely awful in terms of anxiety. I had impending doom feelings all the time. It was like Boost Bar back in the day. When I used to take Boost Bar, I would get impending doom like an hour after taking it. Losartan was the same way, but it kept happening multiple times a day. And I said, no, I can't take this. I can't. No, it's not help. Really? Having my heart, like, is this supposed to control blood pressure, right? Why give me something that's going to make my heart racing up my blood pressure? Does that make any sense? No, it doesn't. I'm doing better on lisinopril, though, so I don't mind taking that. It doesn't give me any side effects at all, really. I mean, it's kind of a boner killer, but if you work at it, you can kind of get it up and do the deed. You can. But it does take a little bit of work. That's pretty much all I'm going to say. But yeah, if you're being on that, and if you want to try therapy, if therapy works for you, or you want to try therapy and you have the ability, I'm going to say go ahead and give it a try. It may work for you, but then again, I would still highly not recommend it at the same time, because what they're going to do is they're going to try to manipulate and brainwash you on a legal level. And if you want to think for yourself, therapy is not the way to go about it. If you want someone to do the thinking for you, go to therapy. Like I said, you're weak and easily swayed and manipulated. You're either you're a soy boy or a woman. I mean, that's you. That's all you. Alright guys, well I am DemoniusX. I am signing off. I hope you enjoyed this video for what it's worth. Just wanted to update you and throw you a bone. Hope it was good enough for you. So I guess if we see each other, good Lord willing, the creek don't rise, as my father used to say. I hope you do. Please do. Take care.